Hello guys, my name is Siddharth Rakwanchi and this is the very new tutorial for the intermediate Python programmers. So in this tutorial series, we're gonna cover some intermediate topics for the Python programmers. So before starting this first tutorial, there are some prerequisites to which you have to must be aware of, and those are the Python programming, like the basic Python programming, the OOPS function, the OOPS concept of the Python, and also how to use the Python syntax, the basic Python syntax. So let's get started to this tutorial. So this first tutorial is related to the optional and the non-optional parameters. So what basically parameters are? So parameters something are which decides that what the function, the given function like this function func will perform on. Like say in this the x and y, they let me first zoom it. Um, okay, so this x and y function, these are basically the parameters in the function func. So and I've used certain mathematical this plus operator on it to basically just say that just it is the first example to basically help you guys that how these function parameters works. So let's get started. So I've derived basically a function, or let me just make it a fresh one for you. So I'll say that we have a function named func, or let me just call it anything like xyz. So let me just name it func. So what I'll do is first I'll say that what are the non-optional parameters. So the non-optional parameters are the parameters from the name itself. You must have got some idea that these parameters are not optional at all, that there must be some parameters in the function. So if I say that x, let's say that x, and put this x in function func, so this x becomes the non-optional parameters because there has to be some parameters in a function. So now if I say that return return x, and then when I call this function, and if I give some value, let's say 5, and I say that print this call, and if I save and if I enter run it, yes, then it will print the 5. So let me just okay guys, okay, so okay, so this is the result function 5. So now guys, um, function 5, okay, so now this x becomes a non-optional parameter. So now if I say that let me just derive another parameter which is fi, then now we can make one of these parameters as optional parameter. So what basically optional parameter is? So if I say that y is equals to 1 here, and I just save it, and then I say that return me the value of x plus y, and then I derive the, let's say I only enter only 5 here, then it should print me 1, because this 5 takes for the value of x, and the 1 has been initially derived as y, the value of y, so it will print me give me the answer 6. So let me just run it, yes, and it gives me answer the 6. So now guys, this y, I can make it as an option parameter by just I have just made it as an option parameter because I have just derived a value here itself in the initial function, in the first function, and I haven't given any value in the in this call parameter, in this call object. So now if I give any value, let's say I give it another value of 6, then or let me just be clear out and let me just give it 10. So now this 10 will basically it will replace this value, this 1, which is the value of 5. So now it will give me the value of 15. So let me just save and then run it. Yes, now it's giving me the value of 15. So this basically is optional and non-optional parameter. So now guys, let me just move ahead with some more examples. Like if I say that there is a parameter word which is a non-option parameter, and which I have to give, the user has to give the value when I call the object, which is the word. And now let me just make two non-optional parameter, which would be frequency, and the another one I can give it as add. So now if I set the value of frequency, which will be equal to as 5, and the value of add is equals to 1. So now, and when I say that return me the value of word, which should be multiplied by the frequency plus add. So now if I, let's say that I give the value for the word, which is my name itself, Satyarth, and when I print it, then yes, it gives me the 6 times the value of Satyarth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ah, yes. So I hope you are getting, guys, that what I've done here is I basically just made frequency and this add parameter as as optional parameter, and I haven't given any value when I called this function parameters as in the form of object. So I haven't given any value. So it just basically I've just given the value only for word, and which is Satyarth, and these two parameters, frequency and add, they both had their values initialized in the in this function. So this was the concept of option and non-option parameters. So I'll just move on with a new class-based example. So I hope guys, so if you are familiar with OOPS concept, then you must get what I'm going to show you just now. So before that, there's a question, guys, that I want to ask a very simple question: that why are we using this non-option parameters? Like we can also give the values in this object, and when we are calling this function. So we can give the value here also. But why we are using the option parameters? Just pause this video and think about the answer. Um, Okay, so we are using the option parameter just because we want to lesser the burden for basically inputting the value or the parameter values again and again. So that's why we use on option parameter. So it's very lame, and it's very lame answer, but yes, that's the fact. We use option parameters just to lesser the burden for inputting the values of parameters again and again when we are calling the function. So now guys, if I move ahead with this another example, let me just bring it here. Okay, okay, so let me just first comment this out. Okay, so now hey guys, what okay, so what I've done here is, guys, basically I have initialized a class which is named as house. And if you're familiar with OOPS concept, then you must get what I'm saying, that and here I have just initialized my constructor for initializing the variable. So there's a constructor which consists the parameters such as cost, city, year, condition, which I have given the which I have made as optional parameter, which is the value of brand new. Then furnish also is a option parameters value valued as fully furnished. So this basically will tell you, this constructor will tell you that how what are the parameters that a house consists. And now I have just made I've just made a new this function known as show, which will display the which will display that what are the condition, what are the that parameters of the houses on depending on the parameter value entered by the user. So it consists of again a non-optional parameters known as show all, which I have set here true. I'll explain you this use of it. And I have just initialized the constructor parameter, and now what I've said is if show all is true, then print and I've used this f string here. The house is in city self dot city, made in year self dot year, cost is self dot cost, the condition is self dot condition, and condition, and basically let me the condition, and it is fully furnished. So now, and if else, if the house if the show all is equals to false, then print the houses, then again it will print the same, but it will have obviously some changes in it. So now when I have called this function here, just look at here guys, that when I've called this uh, function here, the house object, sorry, the house class, and I have set the parameters of cost is equals to 40 lakhs, and the city is Delhi NCR, and the year is 2018, and the condition, basically I have just replaced the brand new condition with not so new, and the furnished condition, furnished parameter value with semi furnished. And also I have called this call dot show function, call dot show function, and I have that in call that you must see that in call I have saved the house the parameters of house. So now if I'll call the call dot house call dot show function, and here I have set the show all value as equals to false. So now this true value is it will be replaced by false, and if I run the if I run this program, then this else part will be displayed. So if I run it, um okay, so this is the answer, that the house is in Delhi NCR, made in 2018, cost is 40 lakhs, the condition is not so new, which is replaced, let me just show you right here, that not so new, I have replaced it with this brand new, and again, and it is semi furnished, which is again I've replaced the value of furnished with semi furnished. So this is how you can use the optional and non-optional parameters. And now just let me guys just let me just change this value of show I'll just only call this value of show all. Now if I do this, that I haven't given any variable any parameters value to this show function, so it will automatically detect that show all is it will always it will take the value of show all is equals to true if I won't give any parameter value here. So now and if I remove this, okay, so if I remove this and I save this, then what will happen guys, the show all is not being replaced by any of the value, and so the this true this true condition will print with condition is equals to brand new, and furnished is equals to fully furnished. So now if I run it, yes, if I run it again, the house is in Delhi NCR, made 2018, cost is 40 lakh, the condition is brand new, which is replaced, and it is fully furnished, which is also replaced with semi furnished. So this was all guys, the concept for the optional and the non-optional parameters. I hope guys you all liked this video. If you like this video, then please do subscribe this channel and share it with your with the nerdy ones, with the Python learners. And till then, goodbye, and I'll come with the next video in which I'll show you some properties of static method and the class method which is used in Python. And till then, goodbye, take care, and keep coding.